Good Tuesday morning. Hope you had a wonderful extended weekend. Last time we talked to you, we were outdoors in the sun at DJ's, and I know the party continued from there, and it was a phenomenal weather weekend around here, something we haven't had on Memorial Day weekend for a number of years. So here we are now, back at it. Mets with a disappointing weekend, and the Yankees with a pretty impressive last couple of days, especially with Aaron Judge last night, who is just unbelievable what he's doing after this contract. And we talk about guys who have signed contracts, come back, maybe felt some pressure of that contract. This guy had pressure going into last year because he didn't have a contract, pressure going into this year because he had the contract. He's answered the bell time and time again, maybe on his way to another MVP. And it still hasn't happened. There still has not been a team in the NBA that has come back from 3-0 to win a series as Jason Tatum rolls his ankle on the first play of the game last night, and Miami beats up Boston in a Game 7 where a lot of people were watching, at least in the beginning of the game. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, G, and congratulations to Jimmy Butler, man. He is amazing. He's an amazing player, and one of the things that he said after the game last night, I want to paraphrase this because the way he put it was amazing. And he was talking about, everybody's talking about him and legacy and all this other stuff, and he is just like deflecting. I know why Pat Riley wanted me here. I know why Erik Spoelstra wanted me here. But, my teammates, there's no role players. We're all teammates here, and we all play a role. And it was amazing just what they were able to pull off last night, and certainly that injury with Tatum helped, but it was like they were not going to be denied, even though they had already run into, a couple of buzzsaw games where, they lost a couple guys due to injury, but all of a sudden last night they started hitting their shots again. And, what kind of league is this, G?
Oh, make or miss league.
That's exactly right. And they were making theirs, and he had 28 points last night. And again, he's just like the heart and soul of that team. And you think about what Pat Riley has done down there in Miami. And we had him here. And we let him go. And he all he's ever done down there is win. All he does is win. He knows how to get the right guys, puts the right teams together. Hasn't been like a dynasty type of run, but I would say that it's like one of the best run organizations in all of professional sports.
Yeah, and there's been a lot coming out of this run, because the previous runs you had Dwayne Wade and Shaq. Then you had LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and basically it was all about those players, not so much the organization. But with this run, even though they have Jimmy Butler as the big free agent superstar that they brought in, really everybody else is a collection of role players. Kyle Lowry, you had won a championship with Toronto, but nobody looks at him as a superstar anymore, just a solid point guard who put the ball in his hands and you trust him with it. So there's been a lot that's been talked about this culture, and then the fundamental building and who they are and how it's not for everybody. And there's a lot of people that are making comparisons to the Bill Belichick run New England Patriots and how it's just basically, even you got the stars at the top, but then it's just interchangeable players after that buy into the system. And one of the most interesting stories that I heard about Pat Riley and Erik Spoelstra getting this team together was when Jimmy Butler came in for his free agent visit. The first thing that he did when he walked in the building was they weighed him, because that's what they do with every single player every day when they come into the building to keep him in check. So they wanted to tell him, as opposed to kissing his ass, if you come here, we're holding you accountable. So instead of like having a big like food spread or something and balloons and all this stuff are coming in, they put him on a scale.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Which is amazing to me. It's actually what Chernoff did when I first got this job. He goes, jump on the scale before you go in there with Boomer.
All right, so let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a star player, the object is to have a legacy and to win as many basketball, hockey, baseball, football games, soccer games that you can win.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go to a franchise, and that franchise tells you this is what they're doing to you in terms of holding you accountable, wouldn't you want to go there knowing that they're going to hold everybody else accountable around you?
Well, yeah, and I think that they knew that they could do that with Jimmy Butler because that was the type of guy that he was, and they targeted him for a reason. Just
the
like
type of guy he is.
Right. Well, exactly. Was coming into the Heat and then obviously continued that. But yeah, of course. And it was a perfect marriage between that organization and him. I mean, there's a reason why you haven't seen the Heat unless there's stories that I've forgotten about, being tied to guys like Kyrie Irving or James Harden at any point in their career. Because those guys wouldn't work in Miami. So yeah, you would want that. And there are a lot of stars, even though we've talked about plenty of NBA players at the top of their game who make the most money, who we don't feel are as committed. There's plenty of them that are. And I would think that Jimmy Butler got on that scale and went, wow, they're not messing around.
I would think I think you could count on probably one hand the type of player that Pat Riley would want, like in today's NBA, in terms of a superstar, not the so-called teammate role players that Jimmy Butler was alluding to last night.
Yeah.
But the so-called superstar who wants to be about as unselfish as he possibly can be to get the most out of those role players / teammates. And one of those guys would be Nikola Jokic. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's that player. He's about as good a passer as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. He can shoot as good as any guy who's ever shot at his height in the NBA. He is about as, just like Jimmy Butler is, he deflects the praise.
Yeah.
And he sends it to his teammates. And, it's amazing when you listen to his head coach talking. And what does he talk about? He talks about how unselfish and how, his best player has bought into what is going on. And then, of course, when you have Jamal Murray's story coming back from that just devastating knee injury and doing what he's doing and putting all the time and effort into becoming that great basketball player he is, it's no wonder, why both of these teams are in the NBA Finals.
Did you guys do buzz or no buzz this morning on the NBA Finals on the warm-up show? I didn't hear it if you did.
We didn't do buzz or no buzz, but Jerry did mention that he didn't think there'd be a lot of interest in it.
I have to say, I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch, and I'm going to watch for a number of different reasons. I think we just talked about a bunch of them.
Sure.
But it really is interesting to me, and I have to believe. I don't know. Pull up your FanDuel app. I've got to believe that Denver is like a heavy favorite.
Yeah, I believe
they have to be.
I think
right?
they're minus 360 on the money line. So you put up, basically you got to put up $360 to win $100. That's what I think that I heard this morning.
Yeah, I got to believe they have to be huge favorites.
Yeah. See,
but then again, like Miami, they've been
minus
under
480 actually.
480.
Jeez.
All right, so but Miami has been the underdog in every single one of their series.
Right, and it comes back the other way plus 330. So if you put up 100 and Miami wins, you win 330. But that to me.
I'm trying to think. Miami had to play. They played to get in, didn't they?
Yeah, the play-in series.
They did the play-in series.
Yeah, right.
Who they beat their first Milwaukee.
Well, yeah, in the first
Milwaukee,
series, yeah,
Knicks,
in 5.
and Boston.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and the play-in game.
And they lost the first play-in game, but had another opportunity to continue to play because they were the higher seed in the play-in tournament. So they actually lost the game in the play-in tournament to Atlanta, and then here they are in the NBA Finals. But this is one. Now, I wanted to bet on them in the Celtics series. I came very close to being wrong about that, but still end up being right about them winning. This time, I think this is it. I think this is Denver's year. I think this is Jokic's year. I think that everything that we said Miami was, they run into this team, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if the rustiness of whatever conversation that continues to come around every time this time of year, the team that's waiting or the team that's playing or who has an advantage or who's tired, who's this. I'm not sure if that plays into it. I just know that Jokic is just as good as any player in the league right now. It's just going to be very, very tough to beat him. But, yeah, from a basketball standpoint, I do think it's interesting. It's just that the Lakers, there was a potential for Lakers-Celtics, which the brand names of that and LeBron James and everything else.
Who cares? I want to see the best players. I want to see, I think in this particular series, I want to see Bam Adebayo going up against Nikola Jokic. I want to see if he can handle him, if he can do anything to slow him down.
Yeah, if there's one guy that could do it, it's maybe him with how good he can be defensively when he's locked in, and he was very, very good last night. So, yeah, these are going to be now the start times of these games.
Oh, God.
When do they
when do they
tip off?
Probably 10:30 at night.
Yeah,
it's a pain in the ass.
I don't know.
And by the way, we talk about superstars and how they play and deflect and bring the best out of their own teammates. Baseball a little bit different, just simply because of the way the game is played, and it is somewhat more of an individual sport than it is a team sport. But when you think about what Aaron Judge is doing and those 2 bombs he hit last night and the catch that he makes out and right, if you haven't seen it, because they played last night, and I did not watch the game live. I came in this morning and watched the condensed game and watched some of the highlights. That catch was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and he had that double off the wall as well. So he had the 2 home runs, a double off the wall, and then stole a home run. And we had a conversation last week about him being the best player in New York that maybe we've ever seen in our lifetime, baseball player. I mean, it's becoming
in our lifetime.
Yeah, in my lifetime.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, I think so.
You got to say in our lifetime.
Well, because I don't know. I didn't see these other guys play. You know what I'm saying?
In our lifetime.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about our lifetime. My lifetime's a little bit longer than yours.
But I still don't, right, and Jerry's, and that's, but it's still, though.
I'm trying to think.
Still, and to take pictures out of it, I mean, him right now.
Okay.
Him right now.
Right.
How good as he's been.
So we're not counting
tough.
the steroid guys, right? We're not counting those guys.
Well, you can if you'd like, but, like A-Rod would be a guy that you would put in there, but I gotta give the nod to Judge because of some of the steroid stuff or whatever else.
Right, he's clean.
Yeah.
And plus he's the captain of the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and everybody loves him, and not everybody loved A-Rod.
That's true.
So those things do factor in. But if you go pure playing ability, I still think Aaron Judge has an advantage here.
All right, you hit me with this now. I got to think about it now.
Yeah.
Because my lifetime is 20 years longer than yours.
It is.
So I got to think about that. You mind if I think about that?
You could think about it when you just sit here while you think?
I'll be thinking about that all morning.
No, I don't know about all morning.
Well, I mean, it's going to be in the back of my brain. I mean, I could do other things. We could talk about other things,
but it'll
which
be
we will.
in the back of your brain the whole time?
I got to think about it.
You're not going to come up with one, I don't think. I don't think so. We went through them all.
Pete Rose is a great player.
No, I said New York. New York.
Oh, New York. Oh, just New York.
York.
Oh, no, now we're just talking about New York.
New York. Yeah, New York
well,
baseball
the Mets
player.
haven't had one.
Sure. I mean, Piazza was really good, but I don't think he can touch what Aaron Judge is doing, and when you add the defense to it.
Are we just talking about baseball players?
Yeah. New York baseball players.
Yeah. Because Eddie's whispering in my ear, what about Messier?
No. New York baseball.
Talking about baseball only, Eddie.
Yeah, New York baseball. We might be
in our lifetime. In our lifetime. Lifetime.
I do think that we could potentially
you can't
be
say
witnessing
that. Listen, you
the
can't
greatest New York baseball player I've ever seen.
Do not use words like could potentially.
Quite possibly. Right now.
Maybe.
Either
he is or he isn't.
I don't know. You haven't thought about it yet, so if you present one
But I'm just saying, you're talking about it as if could possibly, maybe.
Yeah, well,
I mean, what are you, like John Heyman? I mean, why don't you just say that he is?
But here's because you can't see into the future. You don't know.
Why don't you say right now?
I just did say that.
No.
I just did say right now.
No, you said right now could possibly be.
No, I said right now he is at this moment, but over the course of his career,
right now
we
he's
can look
the best
back
player
maybe.
in New York. That's not saying much.
No,
Not.
I'm saying right now he's the best New York baseball player. Him in his prime, watching him is the best New York baseball player I've ever seen. Now, once you get to the end of his career, and who knows where that goes, then we can compare and contrast. But as far as at the top of his game, I don't think I've seen anybody as good as him at the top of his game.
In his prime.
Right. Sort of like how people say, I brought this up to Jerry, people say that Gale Sayers was the greatest running back they ever saw in his prime. Yeah. But he didn't have a long career.
Very short career.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, Jim Brown had a short career.
He did, yes. And people still hold him as the greatest player to ever have played the game. Yeah. A lot of people say that not just running back, but just greatest player in that short amount of time. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
When you break down these sports arguments.
Yeah, I know, but
you got to have qualifiers, you got to have categories, you got to be able to really narrow it down.
You're saying right now in his prime, doing what he's doing, coming off of this game last night, Aaron Judge, in your eyes, is the best player of your time that you've ever seen in New York.
Yeah.
We're not counting any. I mean.
No. Can't do that at this point.
I mean, because in your lifetime in New York, you got Jeter, you got Mariano. Well, Mariano's pitcher. You don't want to count them. I mean, you got A-Rod.
Exactly. Yep. So I think you
got Mattingly.
Yep. I mean, I used to love Piazza. Piazza gave me that special feeling. But
David Wright, Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah, but
Gary Carter.
I mean, there are a lot of great players.
Keith Hernandez.
Sure. But is anybody as impressive as this guy?
Buddy Harrelson.
Buddy.
I'm just trying to just think off the top of my head. Now, I just got to think New York only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want me to write these down for you so you don't forget all the categories?
I could just Google it.
You could just Google it, but this is your memory of your lifetime. You know, you can't just be Googling stuff.
Right. Well, there's a lot of memories in here with us.
A lot of memories. A lot of great memories. And Friday was one of those great memories. Boomer will hang on to for the rest of our lives. The kickoff to summer.